Calculating borrowing capacity. Or how much can you borrow? The goal of the training video is to make a client understand how big monthly installments she or he can afford. In the end of our lesson you will learn how analyze your capacities before deciding to borrow. Calculate your repayment capacity to understand how big loan you can afford. Few of us think that we have enough money for our basic necessities, our children's education, and the other things that we want. And many of us have businesses that we would like to expand. If only we had the money to invest. We can borrow money to make up for a shortfall in capital, but we have to be careful how much debt we take on. If we never borrow, we might not ever make progress, but if we borrow too much, we risk not being able to repay. How do you know how much you should borrow? Gold rule of 20%. Although every family has to decide for itself how much debt it can afford, taking into account all sources of savings and incomes, one good rule of thumb is that total debt repayments should not be higher than 20% of the total family income. If a family's monthly income is €1,000, then the amount of all debt for that month should not exceed €200. This amount includes the total debt from all sources, both formal and informal, for the month. For example, for loans, the monthly repayment size; for informal debt, the amount to be repaid that month. For example, the husband has its own business. He earns €1,000 per month on average. He took a loan to buy some stocks, and now he repays €50 every month. Wife works as a teacher. Her salary is €500. The son works part-time as a taxi driver. He earns €370. The whole family spends on monthly basis €1,420. They are left with €400. The family wants to borrow €1,800 for 6 months at an interest rate 24% per annum to buy a fridge. The fixed monthly installment for the loan is €336. In order to apply their rule of 20%, calculate the 20% of total income. €374. This is the total amount that the family can take on as debt. Can they borrow the refrigerator now? The refrigerator repayment, €336, is less than the available €400, and also less than 20% of the total income, €374, so yes. Total debts are €336 plus €50 equals €386, which is more than €374, and less than €400, but according to the rule of thumb it means no, they should not take the loan. What if the refrigerator repayment was €300 per month? The refrigerator repayment €300 is less than the available €400, so yes. The total debt is €300 plus €50 equals €350, which is less than €374, so again yes. So what are the options? What shall they do? If we learn that the new loan is not possible, the options are: searching for a less expensive refrigerator, waiting for several months until the old debts are repaid or decreased so that the 20% rule can accommodate this cost, increase income, or search for additional work. If the discrepancies are not significant, sometimes decreasing expenses in the short term might work to provide a better safety cushion, but should be seen as a last resort, because reducing cutting expenses does not increase income, so the 20% rule remains the same. In conclusion, we would like to remind you the following. Analyze your capacities before deciding to borrow. Calculate your repayment capacity to understand how big loan you can afford. Thank you for your attention.